Let's start the video back in this corner this time. Some very nicely scented daffodils have bloomed really recently. It smells amazing. I've been doing a ton of weeding. Also, my signs blew over here. I'm gonna be doing a ton of weeding because all of that time spent with the broken ankle was months and months of not being able to weed. And so the seed load is pretty high. I think these are the good smelling ones right here. The minis have a scent really similar to hyacinth. It's like that sweet lily candy smell. So the early ones are pretty well all spent, but my later daffs are popping in at this point. It's looking really good to me. I don't know. Look how low these freaking airplanes go over. Anyhow, there's probably fresh asparagus in there by now, and I probably need to get in there and cut the old stuff down or yank it up or something. I can see that my yastaberry's blooming. Let's see here. Oh, are there potatoes in here? They probably froze to death. Probably. Yeah, here we go. See? Aren't those funky little flowers? And then these are little green flowers. The apple blossoms aren't quite open yet. It does look like almost all of my sweet cherry blossoms, as usual, scorched off. Alas. More funky wonky daffodils. I gotta get some water into that or move these. I'm gonna move these. Let's do this right now while I'm out here because the sun's gonna start going down. Oh, little baby bunny, how are you? Eating things. I don't know how well my persimmon transplants are gonna take, honestly. I hope. But to kind of try and help it out, I'm gonna do this. This is my first time growing persimmons from seed, and I'm really hoping that the transplants would have took. I started the seeds in a batch, like a bundle type of situation, and then uprooted a bunch of them and gifted a bunch that would have gotten in the ground more quickly. Some of them aren't done being transplanted. They're still in the half a wheelbarrow over there. I suspect this might be a buckthorn, so I'm going to get that in there before it roots through, because it don't look right. If this takes, we might end up having some seedless Osage orange there, which would be very nice, but doesn't seem like it's staying damp like it should. It may or may not rain tomorrow. The percentages keep changing. Ah, there's finally flowers on the haskap. Wait, I circled the wrong thing. It's actually right here. Let's see if we can get past this. Ah, yeah, these fluffy ones smell good too. The minis that came with one of my daffodil orders have scent. They are scented daffodils. Oh, good, the tulips are red. See? The sour cherries are starting to set fruit. And the Saskatoons, June berries, service berries, whatever you want to call them, they are starting to bloom, which is very nice. I did get through and get the black rot off, but there is also... why can I never find my neem sprayer? Like, what is with that? But anyways, my neem sprayer's missing again. Hi, Blue Jay. Yeah, you're very Blue Jay. Anyway, I need it because the cherry has peach borers. Is that the right word? I think it is. And I need to spray it with neem to help with that. But I can't find my freaking... I can find my neem concentrate, but not either of the two sprayers. Not either. One of them was actually sitting out here all winter the year before with me looking for it. I chop and dropped and then put a big old box on top. So I'm hoping that my sunken paths that are well-draining wood chips underneath, and they're carrying the water through the garden. I'm hoping that this will be a good solution for me to get the weeds out the way, like get big piles of weeds together, throw them down, and then put a box on top. All of this is Lily of the Valley, and then there's a Pixwell gooseberry scraggly coming out the middle. It seems like the flowers are about finished. Well, there's one still on this red or burgundy plum type tree. I can't quite figure out exactly what I got. It's free from seeds, so could be any number of things. Is this... this is from the cherry tree. This is an offshoot from the cherry tree. And then those are the plum that I grew from seed, the American plum. Woohoo! This needs backfilled as well. It's very deep. Divots in my walkways. See, so that greenery in there is my mulberry, I think? No, this is the mulberry. The heck is that? Then I have to identify that. And then, that would be interesting. I think there should be asparagus by now, but also sometimes it waits until I start to yank these out before... Oh my gosh, my finger was in the way. Sorry. How long was it like that? Tell me in the comments. Yell at me. It's fine. Just don't be too mean, because I am sensitive. Blah. So there. Yeah. Here's where the hopness, or American groundnut, Apios americana, will grow, but it comes up late. I do have a couple places where there are ramps. Typically, if I'm given ramps to eat, I will plant them instead. And that's what we're looking at right there. Oh yeah, in theory, I should have a bushelberry-sized blackberry back here in addition to all the long frond ones. I wonder when I'll find out if that took or not. Huh. So it was supposed to be back in that corner. And yeah, there goes another freaking huge airplane. But yeah, you can see the pink flowers. There's still some pink flowers on this dark purple leaf tree. I don't really do a good job at training my fruit trees, as you can see by the fact that this is like pretty much a column. The times that I have trained them, I often yoke them, like I break the branch. It rips into the main trunk, and that's pretty bad. So I'm now very nervous to do it. If you have tips, I'm happy to hear them. Let's see here. Sea kale came back. That's good. That's really tasty. I'm loving having the thornless raspberry inside a fenced area, because then the deer don't eat it down to nothing. And as you can see, my yellow, I forget exactly which, sweet yellow late season apple of whatever the heck variety it was. I'd have to look up in a really old binder of mine. I don't know. But this apple is blooming, so hopefully this will be a good apple year. It very rarely is a good apple year for this tree though, so we'll see. And I can see that my tulips are out. Here's a closer. And the Magnolia virginiana, which is one of the native varieties, is starting to leaf up. See? Just barely starting to, because they get these little, like, you can almost see it there, like sheaths on their leaf buds that then pop off like this. It's like a little hat. And then once it drops its little hat, the leaves come out. Usually this is more evergreen, but this was a colder winter, as we have discussed a few times recently. It also really looks like, geez, Blue Jay, we hear you. It also really looks like my silver vine kiwi, which this was its first year, did great over winter. So that's wonderful news. I'm gonna have to get more mushroom spawn. Well, I don't have to, but I'm gonna want to. Right in there. Or I could just spread it around. But those blocks, the spent blocks, they're free from one of the mushroom farms nearby. So I go get them and I chuck them in there, and then they continue to fruit out most of the time. I put cardboard down over here too. Typically I just save up boxes or bring in boxes from work, etc., and put those down everywhere in order to keep my pathways walkable, not like weed overgrown. So I find that very helpful. Well, it looks like my clove currant is at least leafed out. Here? Is it gonna... Oh, there's only like a couple sticks of it, like this and that. Huh. That's okay. This is gonna need a whole bunch of boxes down the back too, to keep that, because that's technically a pathway. And as you can see, my retainer wall kerplonked. That happens. This is more like what the thornless raspberries look like when they aren't in a fence. My pond, I'm going to start adding bentonite clay powder to it when it's dry, so that when the water pours into it, it'll activate that in hopefully the bottom. Keep that from draining. I have to decide if I've deepened it as much as I want to, though, or if there's still more deepening that I want to do before I fully commit to that. Because once you start sealing it, it's silly to do so before you're done digging. Yeah, because that just breaks it open again. There's the mock orange. Here's my quince that's still not mature enough to flower. And then there's the front yard. I'm going to try and walk through here and see how I do. Yeah, okay, great, that went well. You can see the hyacinths are pretty well done. As are these. Well, these are of course done, these daffodils. They are the very first ones of the year. I used to deadhead all my daffodils, but then I realized that I don't need to divert more energy towards the bulbs. I have hundreds of daffodil bulbs here. So it's not like... Oh, that moved. This was here. It's not like I can't use what's already available, you know? Oh, geez, look, here's what I'm trying to do, is get it pinned down by that. Sorry for the awkward view. I like these little ones. The red twig dogwood is here. And as you can see, there's a new row. Some of the daffodils that I divided, I ended up lining them up along the fence, and they are each divided by a historic type of iris, one of the neighborhood kinds. And then these are about to come out, those latest daffodils, those ones. Oh, good, there's another bundle of the butterfly kind. These, I think, might be my favorites of the daffodils. But I don't have a ton of them either, so I have to kind of pay attention to where they come up at so I don't give away too many. I'll let them kind of like continue to flourish, hopefully. So yeah, the garden's smelling phenomenal because the scented daffodils are in full bloom. And we're really greening up, except for where my boxes are down. Let's see, can I just put this like this to cover? I think I'm going to have to put some rocks down to keep these from blowing around. And one of these days, my ankle will be strong enough to bring you on down the cliff again, but I still don't fully trust it to hold a camera and navigate the cliff. Like, I've been down the cliff a tiny bit with both hands available, but then to also hold a camera, that's a different thing. I'm still in physical therapy, still working on strength building. Now it's not so much my ankle that is the primary weakness, but rather it is my hip. Turns out my hip was slightly dislocated from the fall as well, so the weakness in my hip is the primary limiting factor currently that we're working on. Physical therapist is really, really good. I'm just not as young as I used to be, right? I know I look like a baby. I know it. But I'm 43. So things just take longer than they used to. Yep. So we got a sunset going now. And I'm going to say thanks so much for visiting the cliffside. And I hope you're having a really good day. Protect your ecosystem. Take care. Bye.